Write this down. Prosperity without management is poverty with a suit. Say it with me. Prosperity without management is poverty with a suit. That's our opening blow to the lie that more money will fix mismanagement. You don't need more money, you need management. Leadership is born when toleration ends, and many of you have been tolerating financial chaos dressed in designer fabric. Whatever you tolerate, you will never change. You've been praying for increase while protecting the very habits that keep you in bondage. Why do I earn more and still feel trapped? Because money does not set you free. Management does. The master said it plainly. He who is faithful in little is faithful also in much, and he who is unjust in little is unjust also in much. Luke 16:10. Write this down. More money magnifies what you already manage. If you mismanage 110,000, only enlarges the dysfunction. Money is an amplifier, not a savior. That's why some of you got a raise and your bondage got a raise too. Your spending grew a necktie, your anxiety put on cologne, and your confusion upgraded to first class. Poverty can wear Prada, it's still poverty. Let me anchor this in your identity. Because stewardship is not a spreadsheet first, it's a self-concept. Let us make man in our image and let them have dominion. Genesis 1:26. The Hebrew word, radar, dominion, means to rule, to govern, to manage. You were created to lead and designed to dominate, not people, but your assignment and your environment, including your money. You are not an accident, you are an assignment. And money is supposed to serve your assignment, not seduce your ego. Your job is what they pay you to do. Your work is what you were born to do. Management is the bridge between paycheck and purpose. So here is my promise to you in this session. We will expose the leaks you don't see that are quietly sinking you, and we will install a kingdom management framework you can apply today. Measure, create margin, deploy your gift, and money will line up like a soldier to your command. Be diligent to know the state of your flocks and attend to your herds. Proverbs 27-23. Say this with me. I refuse toleration. I choose management. My money will serve my mission. One more time for your future. Write this down. Prosperity without management is poverty with a suit. Now let's expose the enemy that doesn't shout, it drips. Leaks don't make headlines, they make holes. Scripture describes it perfectly. You earn wages to put into a bag with holes. Haggai 1-6. Write this down. Holes don't argue. They just enter you quietly. Lifestyle creep is a polite hole. You call it progress, new phone, higher plan, premium seat, impulse upgrades because I deserve it. But progress without purpose is just polished drift. The enemy of destiny is not always a demon. Sometimes it's an auto-renew. Unassigned dollars are disloyal. Hear me. Money is obedient to vision, or it becomes a mercenary for someone else's. If you don't give it an assignment, it will volunteer for another person's dream. That's why you're financing algorithms you don't own and funding marketing plans you never approved. Say it with me. If I don't direct it, I donate it to chaos. Again, with authority, if I don't direct it, I donate it to chaos. Subscription drag is the slow death of the unfocused. Free trials become monthly tributes to companies you can't even remember. Convenience fees are taxes on impatience. Overdrafts and late fees are tithes to the bank shareholders' worship services you didn't mean to attend. Casual generosity without strategy feels holy and ends up unholy because it violates stewardship. Jesus loved generosity and still said, gather up the fragments that remain so that nothing is lost. John 6:12. He multiplied bread and then managed crumbs. Write this down. God will not trust you with baskets if you waste fragments. Proverbs says, like a city whose walls are broken down is a person who lacks self-control. Proverbs 25-28. Leaks are broken walls, tiny breaches that invite large invasions. A coffee here is not the issue. It's the unexamined pattern that tells a story your destiny didn't authorize. Small leaks create big losses because time multiplies tolerance. Write this down. A leak tolerated today is a loss multiplied tomorrow. Let me be your pastor and your coach for a moment. Some of you are not broke, you're bleeding. You don't need more income yet. You need to stop the internal hemorrhage. Heaven promotes managers, not wishers. This is not condemnation. This is calibration. You are not an accident. You are an assignment, and your assignment demands order. Begin to walk your accounts like a shepherd over sheep. Ask every dollar, where are you going? Who sent you? What fruit will you produce? If it cannot answer, it is a leak disguised as a luxury. Say it again for your future. If I don't direct it, I donate it to chaos. Leadership is born when toleration ends. End your toleration of silent drips. Before we multiply, we must mend. Stop the leaks and watch peace return as the first dividend of stewardship. Now that the leaks are on the table, let's go to the constitution of the kingdom. Then God said, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion. Genesis 1:26. Write this down. Dominion is not noise, it is order. The Hebrew word is radah, govern, rule, manage. God did not give you dominion to shout. He gave you dominion to structure. Stop praying for cash and start proving capacity. Say it with me. Dominion demands management. The New Testament gives us the job description. The word for steward is oikonomos, oikos, house, and nomos, law, the law of the house, the household manager. Write this down. God funds managers, not wishes. Heaven does not wire money to disordered houses. It is required in stewards that one be found faithful. 1 Corinthians 4:2. Faithful in what? The house, systems, assignment. The budget is not secular. It is sacred because it is the law of your house. Jesus made it painfully clear in the parable of the talents. One received 5, 1, 2, 1, 1 each, according to his ability. Matthew 25-15. Ability is proven management, not secret desire. The 5 turned into 10, the 2 into 4, and the 1 hid his in the ground. Listen to the verdict. Well done, good and faithful servant. You were faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many. Matthew 25-21. Rulership follows faithfulness over few. But to the one who buried it, the king said, take the talent from him and give it to him who has 10. For to everyone who has, more will be given. But from him who does not have, even what he has will be taken away. Matthew 25:28-29. Write this down. Resources migrate toward management. Heaven promotes faithful stewards. Dominion is proven by management. Joseph is our case study. A slave at a management anointing, first over Potiphar's house, then over a prison, then over a nation. Strategy plus storage turned crisis into control. 7 years of plenty, 7 of famine. Joseph measured, stored, and governed at 20%, and Egypt became the bank of the world. Genesis 41. When the famine came, people didn't run to the most spiritual. They ran to the most structured. Write this down. Vision without storage becomes panic. Storage converts vision into power. He who manages the grain manages the gates. So hear me as your pastor and your coach. God never answers money problems with money. He answers with management. Say with me, God answers with management. You are not an accident. You are an assignment. Your assignment requires a managed house. Before you ask for more, demonstrate dominion over the few. Put laws in your house. Count the flocks. Close the leaks, build the storehouses. When you prove oikonomos, heaven will say, make him ruler over much. Leadership is born when toleration ends. End the toleration of disorder, and your dominion will have evidence. Now let's deal with the most dangerous line item in your budget, your identity. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Proverbs 23:7. Not as he earneth, as he thinketh. Write this down. Your financial reality follows belief, not income. If your heart carries a poverty identity, a raise will simply finance a larger version of the same bondage. If your heart embraces stewardship, the same income will begin to build a different future. Say it with me. My belief is my boundary. Listen carefully. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Psalm 24:1. That cancels ownership in the ego. You don't own anything, you manage everything. The New Testament word for steward is oikonomos, oikos, house, and nomosla. You are the manager enforcing the king's law over his house, including the house called your finances. Write this down. Ownership mentality spends, stewardship mentality deploys. Owners in ego buy trophies to soothe insecurity. Stewards in assignment deploy resources to fulfill purpose. Which one are you practicing? You are not an accident. You are an assignment funded by purpose, not by paychecks. But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you. Matthew 6:33. Things pursue vision properly ordered. Your job is what they pay you to do. Your work is what you were born to do. Your job gives you a check. Your work gives you meaning. Money must serve your work or it will enslave your soul. Say it with me. My money serves my mission. Let me give you your Autobahn moment. I was driving in Germany, no speed limit. All my life I had been trained to lift my foot at a number posted by culture. That day I pushed past a number and discovered something shocking. The car did not shake, my mind did. And when my mind adjusted, there was life after the limit. Write this down. Culture set your financial speed limit, not God. Your family's ceiling, your industry's cap, your neighborhood's norm, those are signs, not laws. Belief is the governor. If you carry an owner and ego belief, you hit the limit and spend to celebrate arrival. If you carry a steward and assignment belief, you pass the sign and deploy to advance the vision. Deuteronomy 8:18 says, it is he who gives you power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant. Wealth is not for ego display. It is for covenant fulfillment. Toleration ends today. Stop tolerating the language of my money, my bag, my flex. That is idolatry in a designer suit. Say this out loud. I am a steward of the king. I deploy resources to assignment. My heart sets the ceiling, so I raise the ceiling now. Money is a tool, not a trophy. Tools build, trophies brag. Write this down. When identity shifts, allocation shifts. As we move forward, your numbers will begin to tell the truth of this new belief. For now, install this law in your house. I am not the owner in ego. I am the steward in assignment, and money will obey my mission. The kingdom has a promotion protocol, and it is not mystical, it is managerial. Listen to the king. You have been faithful in a very little, have authority over 10 cities. Luke 19:17. In the Greek, Jesus says, ilekistos, microscopic amounts. Write this down. God hides cities in cents. Stop asking for cities while misplacing cents. God's test isn't more, it's little. If you can't manage $100, you disqualify $10,000. Desire is loud, but heaven reads data. Increase is not a response to your tears. It is a response to your demonstrated management. Luke 16:10 says it without apology. He who is faithful in what is least is faithful also in much. Faithfulness is not a feeling, it is a system. Nothing advances, improves, or succeeds without management. Nothing. Nothing changes, nothing develops, nothing is corrected, nothing stabilizes, nothing scales. Write this down. Mismanagement delays miracles, not denies delays. Many of you have a heaven-approved miracle waiting on earth-level management. God will not pour new wine into old wineskins, Mark 2:22. He loves you too much to finance your fractures. Do not despise the day of small things, Zechariah 4:10. Small is not insignificant, it is diagnostic. Small reveals habits you will only multiply with big. If $100 cannot obey you, $10,000 will embarrass you. If one bill is late under pressure, 10 bills will organize a rebellion under abundance. The parable of the talents taught us this already. Ability measured by management attracts redistribution. To everyone who has, more will be given. Matthew 25:29. Why? Because resources migrate toward order. Toleration ends now. Whatever you tolerate financially, you will never change. If you tolerate vague spending, you will never trust your future. If you tolerate casual debt, you will never taste clean freedom. If you tolerate undocumented dollars, you will never walk in documented dominion. Leadership is born when toleration ends. End it tonight. Say it with me. I passed the test of little. Again, with authority, I passed the test of little. Here's your immediate obedience. Appoint the next $100 as your exam. Not next month now. Assign every dollar before it moves. Prove stewardship in ilekistos. If you're paid this week, practice a micro protocol. First honor God, then honor future you with storage, then fund your assignment, then operate your life, record it, review it, repeat it. This is not about amounts. It is about order. As you pass the test of little, you authorize heaven to trust you with much. You are not an accident. You are an assignment. Measure, manage, and watch promotion locate you on schedule. Sit up and lean in. Before you ask for more, count what you have. Jesus said, which of you intending to build a tower does not first sit down and count the cost? Luke 14:28. The Greek word is psephizo, calculate, compute, do the math. Write this down. You cannot manage what you won't measure. Ignorance is the most expensive bill you pay. Many of you are not under attack. You are under an assumption. And assumptions are terrible accountants. For the next 30 days, conduct a cash flow audit, not someday starting tonight. Gather every statement, every receipt, every app trail, list every inflow by source and every outflow by name. If it breathes from your account, it must have a birth certificate. Write this down. Numbers are narrative. Your money has been telling a story. You just haven't been listening. Be diligent to know the state of your flocks and attend to your herds. Proverbs 27-23. In modern language, know the state of your cash and attend to your flows. Now install a zero-based plan. That means every dollar is given a job before it leaves the house. If it isn't assigned, it's a stray. If it's a stray, it's a leak in the costume. Say it with me. I name every dollar before it moves. Again, with authority, I name every dollar before it moves. This is stewardship liturgy. When you sit down to pray about provision, bring a ledger to the altar. James said, faith without works is dead, James 2:17. Prayer without measurement is noise without notes, sound with no song. Write this down. Confusion is expensive. Clarity compounds. Clarity compounds peace, control, and margin. Confusion compounds fees, fear, and frustration. Some of you have been driving your finances by the fear of the speed limit, what the culture posts, rather than by the truth of your speedometer, your data. Stop lifting your financial foot because of someone else's sign. Drive by your instrument panel. What is your burn rate? What day of the month do you predictably hit empty? Which category is speeding? Data is not a demon, it is a deliverer. Here is your protocol. 1, sit down and count suffiso in black and white. 2, name every inflow and every outflow. 3, assign every dollar a job until you hit 0. 2, date the plan, sign it like a covenant, and review it weekly. Pray over it, not as a lottery ticket, but as a legal document of stewardship. You are not an accident. You are an assignment. Clarity of cash flow precedes authority over cash. Measure first, manage next, then watch your prayers, find handles to be answered. Say with me, I drive by data. I measure before I pray. And my numbers will tell a new story. Now that you can see your money, we must give it rooms to live in. Write this down. Protect margin so money can grow. No margin, no mission. Proverbs 21:20 says, the wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down. Fools eat the future. The wise create storehouses. Joseph didn't pray for more rain. He built storage and ruled a famine. Genesis 41. Margin is not extra. It is evidence that you manage. Say it with me. I protect margin like my mission depends on it, because it does. Here is the 4 storehouse model. Write it down. Seed, store, service, spend. That is kingdom order for every dollar. Seed is giving honor the king first. Bring all the tithes into the storehouse and see if I will not open for you the windows of heaven. Malachi 3:10. Luke 6:38 adds, give and it will be given to you. Seed breaks greed and invites grace. Store is savings and investments, the Joseph account. Ants don't have a pastor, but they store Proverbs 6-6-8. Service is for obligations that maintain order, debt, critical bills, and mission-critical expenses that keep your assignment legal and operational. Owe no one anything except to love one another, Romans 13-8. Spend is operations, food, transport, utilities, life. Write this down. Appetite goes last, assignment goes first. Here is a sample allocation to begin training your house. 10% seed, 20% store, 10% service, 60% spend. Adjust with wisdom, but never eliminate seed or store. Those two are your covenant and your cushion. And here your pastor, automated. On payday, make obedience easier than impulse. Set 4 automatic transfers same day, same hour into 4 named accounts. Seed, store, service, spend. If you see it, you'll be tempted to spend it. If you system it, you'll secure it. Faith without systems is fantasy. Write this down. Automation is accountability for your future self. Emergency protocol. Target your first $1,000 in store fast. Sell something. Pause luxuries. Cancel leaks. Make it happen in 30 days. Then build it to 3-6 months of essential expenses. This is not fear, it's wisdom. When the car coughs or the job shifts, your mission doesn't panic because your margin is pregnant with options. Margin is the womb of multiplication. Say it with me, margin is the womb of multiplication. Practical steps tonight. Rename 4 accounts in your bank. If you can't open new ones, create 4 digital buckets and label them. Schedule the 4 transfers for next payday. Lock the seed and store from easy access, no debit cards on those. Fund service with focus. List debts by balance or interest and attack one while paying minimums on the rest. Spend from a capped weekly rhythm so the month doesn't bully you. You are not an accident. You are an assignment. Install margin and watch money submit to your mission. Let me take you back under the hood. Years ago, a luxury sedan rolled into a garage. Beautiful paint, leather seats, powerful engine, dead on arrival. Not a demon, not the drivetrain. A $4 terminal wire corroded. Hear your mentor. A $4 wire can shut down a $60,000 machine. Write this down. Small faults create system funerals. This is why many of you feel stalled with plenty of horsepower. You've got micro leaks stopping a mighty engine. Scripture said it before mechanics did. Catch for us the little foxes that ruin the vineyards. Song of Songs 2:15. Little foxes eat future harvest. Paul added, a little leaven leavens the whole lump. Galatians 5-9. Small things, big consequences. Say it with me. I fix small to protect big. Again, with conviction. I fix small to protect big. So we hunt foxes tonight. Audit micro leaks. Bank fees you meant to call about. Unused apps in your subscriptions. Delivery premiums that tax your impatience. Ride shares that replace a 1-2 minute walk. Premium convenience add-ons at checkout. Rounding errors that always round against your destiny. In-app upgrades you forgot in a game your child stopped playing. Tip creep on orders you didn't need. Write this down. Uninspected convenience becomes unbudgeted cost. You cannot afford to be casual with foxes. Now set leak limits. Kingdom people use laws. Cap dining, ride shares, coffee, and impulse categories with weekly envelopes, digital or physical. Not suggestions, caps. If dining is $80 a week, when the envelope is empty, you are done. The engine says, we protect the drivetrain, and you say, we protect the mission. Move ride shares to a preloaded card. Create a once weekly wallet that resets every Sunday. Disable one-click purchases for 30 days and force a 2-4-hour cooling rule. Unlink seed and store from every wallet so foxes can't find the vineyard. Write this down. Precision is prosperity's protection. Practical drill for the next 72 hours. 1, print your last 90 days of statements. Circle every fee, subscription, and delivery premium color code by category. Cancel or renegotiate 3 items per day. Call the bank. Ask for fee reversals. Set account alerts at $25 thresholds. 3, create weekly caps. Dining, rideshare, convenience. Fund them on the same day you fund seed and store. Install merchant locks on categories you overspend. Require a passcode so your future must ask permission from your purpose. This is not stinginess. This is stewardship. Jesus said, gather up the fragments so that nothing is lost. John 6:12. He multiplied and then managed crumbs. If the king cares about fragments, you must care about fees. Say it again. I fix small to protect big. Leadership is born when toleration ends. End your toleration of silent drips. Close the $4 wires and watch your $60,000 engine roar without apology. Now that the engine is no longer bleeding, we can do what engines were designed to do, move. But hear me, kingdom growth is not an event, it is a system. While the earth remains, seed time and harvest shall not cease. Genesis 8:22. Write this down. It doesn't say seed and harvest. It says seed time and harvest. Time is the fertilizer. Many of you are frustrated because you sowed once and expected a forest tomorrow. Farmers don't visit the field with a microphone. They visit with a schedule. Say it with me. Multiply, don't add. Proverbs 13:11 says, he who gathers money little by little makes it grow. Little by little is a system. Galatians 6-7 adds, whatever a man sows, that he will also reap. Heaven is telling you the formula. Seed, time, repeat. Write this down. Systems create harvest. Hype creates hangovers. Stop chasing jackpots. Start installing rhythms. Automate the sowing and delegate the growing to time. On payday, the same day you fund seed and store, set an automatic transfer into your investment field, weekly or bi-weekly, no emotion, just obedience. Faithfulness is a system. Now, a simple law of classification: assets versus liabilities. Assets pay you. Liabilities invoice you. If it sends you money, it's an asset. If it sends you a bill, it's a liability. Write this down. If it costs to keep and sleeps when you sleep, it is not an asset, it is appetite with packaging. Stop baptizing liabilities with financial vocabulary. Direct your store to 3 fields. Field 1, broad, low-cost index funds, the marketplace vineyard. You are not gambling, you are gathering. Ecclesiastes 11:2 says, give a portion to 7 and also to 8. Diversify because you don't know what evil may come. Field 2, skill upgrades, the steward sharpener. Courses, certifications, coaching that multiplies your earning power. Field 3, own production tools that convert your gift into marketable value. Equipment, software, infrastructure you control. Not trophies, tools. Tools that reduce your cost, increase your quality, and accelerate your delivery. Your gift is your growth engine. If they fire you, your gift goes with you. Your job is what they pay you to do. Your work is what you were born to do. Invest in the engine. A sharper gift raises your rates without asking permission. Do you see a man skilled in his work? He will stand before kings. Proverbs 22:29. Kings pay for competence. Practical protocol. Set a fixed percentage of store to each field. For example, 60% to index funds, 20% to skill, 20% to tools. Automate the 60%. Calendar. The 20% skill into your week study is a standing appointment. Vet the 20% tools with one question. Will this tool produce cash flow or cost flow within 90 days? If it cannot answer, it is a toy. And start now. He who observes the wind will not sow. Ecclesiastes 11:4. Waiting for perfect markets is polished fear. We are farmers. We plant across seasons. Little by little, law by law, week by week, multiplication emerges. Say with me. I install systems. I sow with schedule. I multiply, I don't add. You are not an accident. You are an assignment. Put your seed on a system, give it time, and your harvest will learn your name. Who's the leader in your budget? No one. And everyone, just like the engine, remember where the $4 wire, the alternator, the battery, the spark plug, all lead in their function. Write this down. Importance is contextual. Interdependence is power. 1 Corinthians 12 says, the body is one and has many members. The eye cannot say to the hand, I don't need you. 1 Corinthians 12:21. Your money is a body. Each part leads where it was assigned. So designate your leaders. Giving leads vision. It says to your house, we serve the king first. Honor the Lord with your wealth, then your barns will be filled. Proverbs 3-9. Saving leads future. It secures the next season before you enjoy this one. Joseph taught us that. Investing leads growth. It multiplies seed beyond your sweat. Operations lead stability. Lights stay on. Licenses stay current. Insurance protects the mission. Enjoyment leads joy. Rest is holy. Celebration is scheduled gratitude. Write this down. When each category leads in its lane, the whole mission moves without strain. Now install governance. A monthly household CEO meeting, not vibes, a boardroom. Write the vision and make it plain. Habakkuk 2:2. First Sunday night, 60 minutes. Agenda. Review last month's data. Did mission lead or did moods? 2, reassign, adjust caps, redirect leaks, reallocate the store and invest fields. Correct fees reversed. Subscriptions canceled. Thresholds enforced. Forecast, assign the next 30 days by date. Pray, decree, decide. Let all things be done decently and in order. 1 Corinthians 14:40. Say it with me. My money follows mission, not moods. Again, louder. My money follows mission, not moods. Role clarity ends friction. Appoint positions at home, responsible for the plan, creates the zero-based budget and sets the 4 transfers. Controller reconciles weekly, verifies every transaction against the plan. Accounts payable, schedules and pays bills on time. Approvals officer, any purchase above a set threshold, 2 signatures, archivist, stores, statements, minutes, and receipts. In a single person household, you still wear the hats, just wear them on different days. Write this down. Confusion creates conflict. Clarity creates cooperation. Establish laws. Example. Giving clears first. Savings transfers second. Operations funds weekly. Investing auto buys on schedule. Enjoyment is capped and guilt-free when the first 4 are obeyed. If enjoyment is empty, joy is delayed, not denied. No one category bullies the others. Who's the leader? No one. And everyone, toleration ends tonight. End the unchaired budget. Institute the CEO meeting. Assign the roles. Empower each category to lead by function. You are not an accident. You are an assignment. Order your house and watch every dollar take its place in the choir of your calling. Say it again. My money follows mission, not moods. Now we confront the Pharaoh still sitting in your wallet debt. Israel left Egypt in a night, but it took years to get Egypt out of their minds. Deliverance is exit. Freedom is order. Write this down. You can be out of bondage geographically and still bound financially. The borrower is servant to the lender, Proverbs 22:7. God brought them out with a mighty hand, Exodus 13:3, but he used laws to make them a nation. Hear me, you've been delivered, but you ain't free yet, not until your payments obey your purpose. Romans 13:8 says, owe no one anything except to love one another. Debt is slavery with a signature. Slavery smiles on sale day and tightens on due day. So we end toleration tonight. Stop praying for cancellation while swiping for comfort. That is double-minded warfare. James says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. James 1:8. Stability is schedule. Write this down. Freedom is a schedule, not a slogan. Choose your weapon and run. Avalanche or snowball. Avalanche, line debts by interest rate, pay minimums on all, then throw every extra dollar at the highest rate until it dies. Repeat. Less interest, more math. Snowball, line by smallest balance, pay minimums on all, then attack the smallest first to win fast and roll momentum. More behavior, more psychology. Which is better? The one you will do aggressively. Pick one in your CEO meeting, print the list, and date the debts. Say with me, I schedule my freedom. Renegotiate tomorrow. Call every lender. Ask for lower APR, waive late fees, remove penalties, and set fixed due dates aligned with your payday cycle. If a balance transfer saves interest and keeps you honest, do it with wisdom and a closing plan. No new spending, no reset of bondage. Consolidation without discipline is cosmetics on captivity. Write this down. Restructure only what you are ready to restrain. Stop new debt now. Freeze the cards. Some of you need a literal freezer. Ice them for 30 days. Remove them from wallets and apps. Unlink them from every marketplace. Install a cooling rule. 24 hours for wants, 7 days for gadgets. Operate from your operations account with weekly caps. Debt dies when desire is dated and dollars are deputized. Proverbs 6:1-5 commands the debtor to deliver himself like a gazelle from the hand of the hunter. That's speed, not speeches. Aggressive, not casual. Set automatic payments on payday plus the targeted extra to your chosen debt. Review weekly every payoff. Celebrate by cutting the card, not by creating another balance. Leadership is born when toleration ends. End it. You are not an accident. You are an assignment. Debt is disorder. Your assignment requires order. Schedule your freedom, enforce your laws, and make every creditor meet the God of your calendar. Say it aloud. I am delivered and I will be free. My payments obey my purpose. Freedom is my schedule. Freedom is for function. God didn't deliver Israel to wander. He delivered them to work the land under his law. Jesus said, occupy till I come. Luke 19:13. The Greek is pragmatuomai. Do business, trade, deploy. Write this down. Deliverance without deployment decays into drift. You've scheduled your freedom. Now we fund your assignment. Your job is what they pay you to do. Your work is what you were born to do. Fund your work. If they fire you, your gift goes with you. Proverbs 18:16 says, a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. Gifts open doors that resumes can only knock on. Genesis 1:26, radar, dominion, not over people, but over your territory of talent. Say it with me. My gift is my territory. Again, my job is employment. My gift is deployment. Identify the output of your gift. Write this down. Product, service, performance, or platform. Product, something you make once and sell many. A course, template, design, formula, book, kit. Service, your hands and head solving a problem. Consulting, coaching, cleaning, repairing, organizing. Performance, the live delivery of skill, speaking, music, culinary events, photography shoots, platform audience. You cultivate and monetize with partnerships and offerings. Which one carries your grace? Name it, aim it, frame it. Now, pricing. Stop selling time. Price transformation. People don't pay for your hours, they pay for their outcome. The woman in 2 Kings 4 didn't sell time with jars. She sold oil that solved the crisis. Sell the oil and pay your debts, and you and your sons live on the rest. 2 Kings 4-7. Build a value ladder. Entry offer that lowers risk and proves value. Core offer that delivers the promised transformation. Premium offer that accelerates results with proximity and customization. Write this down. Price the change, not the clock. Allocate a work fund from your store. This is capital, not cushion, separate account named work capital. Automate a fixed percentage of every paycheck surplus into this fund. Its mandate is 3 verbs: prototype, market, deliver. Prototype, small, fast builds MVPs of your product or service within 14 days. Market, message, media, and method, copy, channel, and cadence funded modestly but consistently. Deliver systems and tools that ensure quality on schedule. Rules of the work fund: tools, not toys; assets, not applause. 9-0 day revenue rule. If the purchase cannot contribute to revenue or retention within 90 days, it waits. Scripture backs skill and build. I have filled him with the Spirit of God and wisdom to design artistic works. Exodus 31-3. Spirit filled and skill deployed. Leadership is born when toleration ends. End your toleration of paycheck-only identity. Set the standing order tonight. Open the work capital account. Choose your output lane. Draft your entry offer and its outcome-based price. Calendar your first prototype window. Say with me, I convert surplus into strategy. Again, louder, I fund my work. You are not an accident. You are an assignment. Write this down. I am unemployable in my gift. I've been deployed. Your money will now serve your mandate. Measure, create margin, deploy your gift, and watch resources. Report to your assignment on time. Now we move from belief to calendar. Write this down. Schedules, sanctify intentions. James said faith without works is dead. James 2:17. Small schedule steps transform belief into bankable progress. Say it with me. I move what I believe. Day 1, 2. Sit down and count. Luke 14:28. Which of you does not first sit down and count the cost? Today, download the last 90 days. List every inflow by source, every outflow by name. Cancel 3 leaks now. Subscriptions, fees, delivery, premiums gone. Set auto transfers to your 4 storehouses on your next payday. Seed, store, service, spend. Same day, same hour. Write this down. Automation is my obedience on schedule. Day 3, 4. Build the $1,000 starter cushion. Proverbs 21:20. The wise store up. Your closet is a savings account with hangers. Sell or sprint. List 10 items tonight. 5 must be posted within 24 hours. Cut luxuries for 14 days. Dining, impulse, convenience fees. Redirect found money to store until you hit $1,000. Jesus said, gather up the fragments so that nothing is lost. John 6:12. Fragments become foundations. Day 5. Choose your weapon, avalanche or snowball, and draft the payoff schedule. Print the list, date the debts, call 2 lenders before noon. Ask for APR reductions, fee reversals, and due date alignment with payday. Proverbs 6:5. Deliver yourself like a gazelle. Speed, not speeches. Day 6. Open the investment field. Seed time and harvest shall not cease. Genesis 8:22. Start a low-cost index fund account. Automate a starter contribution weekly or bi-weekly, even if it's small. Ecclesiastes 11:2. Diversify. Write this down. I plant on schedule. Time does the heavy lifting. Day 7. Hold your household CEO meeting. Habakkuk 2:2. Write the vision and make it plain. Assign roles. CFO, controller, accounts payable, approvals, archivists. Approve the zero-based plan. Confirm the 4 transfers. Lock the debt schedule. Set weekly caps and calendar the monthly review. Pray, decree, decide. Let all things be done decently and in order. 1 Corinthians 14:40. Say it with me. My money follows mission, not moods. Now the 3 0-day sprint. 3 targets. 1, hit your first debt milestone. 1 balance debt or 1 interest cut documented. Accumulate 1 month of essential expenses in store. Stack it with sales over time and leak savings. Launch your first gift income pilot, an entry offer live to real people. First 10 buyers targeted. First testimonials captured. Prepare your work outside. Make it fit for yourself in the field. And afterward, build your house. Proverbs 24-27. Write this down. Start now. Not later. Not when it feels perfect. Ecclesiastes 11:4. He who observes the wind will not sow. Leadership is born when toleration ends. End delay tonight. You are not an accident. You are an assignment. Measure, create margin, deploy your gift, and within 30 days, make your money, bow to your mission. Say it with me. I schedule my freedom. I sow by system. I move, and my harvest moves toward me. Lift your voice with me. Say it with me. I am a faithful steward. I pass the test of little. My money follows my mission. Again, with authority, I am a faithful steward. I pass the test of little. My money follows my mission. Jesus said, he who is faithful in what is least is faithful also in much. Luke 16:10. Write this down. Promotion is not a miracle. It is a measurement of management. You are not an accident. You are an assignment funded by order. Genesis 1:26 declares dominion. That mandate is financed by stewardship. Vision sets destination. Management fuels the journey. Proverbs 29:18 says, where there is no vision, the people perish. Write this down. Vision is more important than leadership. Management protects vision. Leadership without management is speed without brakes. Vision without systems is prophecy without payroll. We end that today. Leadership is born when toleration ends, and today your toleration of financial chaos ends. No more casual months, no more unchaired budgets, no more prayers without plans. Say it out loud. I end toleration tonight. I install order and keep it. Let all things be done decently and in order. 1 Corinthians 14:40. Order is how heaven entrusts more. Here is your commission. Schedule your monthly household CEO meeting for the next 12 months. First Sunday night, 60 minutes. Put it in the calendar before midnight. Agenda, review the numbers, renew the laws, redirect the leaks, reassign the dollars. Habakkuk 2:2, write it, review it, run with it. Psalm 90:12, teach us to number our days, because numbered days produce governed dollars. Write this down. What gets calendared gets conquered. Next, teach someone else the framework. Within 7 days, sit with a friend, a spouse, a mentee, a team member, and walk them through seed, store, service, spend, leaks, and caps, the CEO meeting, work capital, the 3 0-day sprint. Freely you have received, freely give. Matthew 10-8. The fastest way to master is to mentor. When you teach it, you lock it. When you model it, you multiply it. Finally, rehearse your identity daily. Before you open your banking app, open your mouth. Deuteronomy 8:18. It is he who gives you power to get wealth. Power comes as principles you practice. Declare, I steward on schedule. I give first. I store with discipline. I serve obligations in order. I spend by plan. I invest by system. My work is deployed and my dollars serve my destiny. The king is watching managers. In the parable of the talents, the master said, well done, good and faithful servant. I will make you ruler over many. Matthew 25-21. Write this down. Faithful steward, future ruler. Sustain freedom by rehearsing identity, refusing toleration, and reviewing management monthly. You are not an accident. You are an assignment. Go now, calendar the meeting. Teach one person. Declare your stewardship, and may your money bow to your mission every month without apology.